My name is Dejha. I'm one half of Operator. Ania Catherine and I have a collaborative art practice, an experiential art practice, bringing together technology, performance art, and large-scale immersive environments. And so today I'm going to go over our privacy collection, which is rooted in the human hiding in plain sight. So our practice back in 2019, we released a project commissioned by the SCAD Museum of Art called On View. And On View was looking at privacy from more of a Web 2 context, as well as extractive technologies and surveillance capitalism within a Web 2 lens. After On View, we created a project called I'd Rather Be in a Dark Silence Than, which was a signal blocking and isolating trench coat, a conceptual and functional artwork, then resulted into an immersive experience that demonstrated the function of this coat. So moving forward into 2021, we began the privacy collection. The privacy collection is very much a series of Web3 site-specific works, specifically looking at how privacy functions in a Web3 context, as opposed to our previous works. The collection shows how artworks can illustrate how people try to maintain private selves while also inhabiting a transparent system to a degree of failure and success. So we're kind of looking at this spectrum of the tension between privacy and transparency and blockchain technologies. And for us, while there is very much, the part of our practice where we look at these topics through more academic perspectives, as well as white papers, as artists and experiential artists, we embrace experiential learning and a way to enter into these conversations and issues and challenges and creative solutions through artworks themselves. And so as there's a massive adoption of blockchain technology, privacy becomes increasingly important and requires a more creative thinking approach. And this series, it started end of 2021, beginning of February 2022, and it's an ongoing series. And each lot explores various cultural and socio-political sites within Web3. So the first lot was called Attempts. And Attempts is 11 unique artworks, which is a choreographic attempt to establish online privacy, real or imagined. And so in this piece, the body inhabits and hides inside a digital shell in the form of a translucent glass avatar, speaking to the synonymous nature of Web3, PFPs, usernames, wallet addresses, where one can ironically be known for being unknown. And so we're looking at the contradiction of self-expression and anonymity online. And the work portrays an evolving attempt of alignment that really is never 100% achieved. Now, moving forward, we created the next lot called the privacy portraits. And privacy portraits also speak to the desire to hide within transparent systems, but specifically a nod to select mechanisms of the PFP, simultaneously critiquing it and challenging it, but also asking if it can be an artwork. And while bringing slowness and analog algorithms to the digital portrait, and also being known for being unknown. So here you can see some of the performance installation footage. This portrait or this experience is where the collector can be represented without being exposed. And so it was a performance installation that the collector went through, and operator anonymized analog portraits of each collector. So in step one, and apologies for the sounds in the background, it's also 5 a.m. and here in Mexico City, and my cat is very excited to be on the same sleep schedule. So she was happy she didn't have to wake me up and I was just awake anyway. So the experience of the privacy portraits, in step one, you arrive to the lobby. Step two, you walk up to a performer who takes your photo with Polaroid analog film. You roll dice, which kind of triggers kind of a framework for analog algorithms and notation systems. Based on those numbers, you are anonymized through physical processes and analog algorithms, producing a final anonymized portrait. And so really we're looking at digital art tied to physical memory in this context. And then our upcoming lot for the privacy collection, which actually we haven't announced this publicly yet. So actually this is the first time we are sharing this information. The next lot of the privacy collection is rooted in generative choreography as well as ciphered choreography. So Ania's background is in performance art and choreography, whereas mine is in human-computer interaction and immersive environments. So we are bringing together these two aspects of our practice, where we start and end with a human, but in the middle of the human body, we have on-chain code and on-chain motion data that through a generative model generates performance and also on-chain artworks. So the way that we are approaching this is Ania is designing individual movements, which actually this first sketch was created during the Glitch residency, which I'll give a shout out because I see that Primavera is here. So this sketch was actually created in France on site at that residency. And then later it was performed through rehearsals with Ania in Orange County, in Los Angeles. And once we were happy with that motion data, the motion performance, as well as the tentative rehearsal capture of that motion data, we did it for real with the XM suit in LA. And so you can see Ania in the motion capture suit. Then we took this data and we had it in the form of an FBX, which really doesn't do much for us as we need to store all of this data on chain, but we also have to do it in a way that is site specific, doesn't cost us, $200,000 to upload rich motion data on chain. So we created our own tool in Touch Designer to take FBX files and convert them into CSV tables, at which point then we pruned and got it down to a point where we can store this information on chain. So, we are focusing in this project, hiding the human in plain sight, and also looking into how raw human expression can be obfuscated, to the naked eye. And while you have this raw human expression available in plain sight, it's not necessarily legible, but it is at the core, and having the ability to lean into transparency, but also maintain what and how is revealed. So I think I'm up with my 5 or 4 minutes, so I will close it down.